We're feasting.
Yeah. I'm recording.
Okay.
Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous red velvet cake with some berries on top. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment, and subscribe, and share with your family. And when you make it, also share it with your family. As I mentioned, today we are making a red velvet cake. Fun fact about this cake is that the first time that I ate a red velvet cake was when I went on a first date with my husband before, obviously, we got married. So I tasted this cake and I was like, what cake is this? And I just became so obsessed with it. And this is 9 years ago now. Since then, I just loved it. I had it at Walnut Grove. If anybody knows Walnut Grove, you know that their cakes are absolutely amazing. So since then, every time I had a red velvet cake, I was measuring it with theirs. And yeah, I now make my own. And it's so delicious. Not overly sweet, but so delicious, so flavorful, just so amazing. So please watch the whole video, try the recipe, try it for your family or try it for your friends, whatever. If there's a special occasion coming, give this cake a try because it was finished so fast. I was like, what just happened? By the next day, they're like, can we please have some more cake? Please make some more cake. So yeah, I had a full house. As you saw in the beginning of the video, everybody was just going crazy over this cake, and I made sure that I cut them these generous slices, and yeah, they loved it. April didn't want to eat her food, so I said, if you don't eat your food, you don't get cake. So she finished her food. And for breakfast the next morning, I said, what do you want to eat? She says, cake. I said, what? No, not for breakfast. But it was so delicious. So please give it a try. It is not difficult to make. You just put your wet ingredients and then you put your dry ingredients and you just get everything mixed together. So now I just put some cocoa powder and some flour together and just give it a nice little mix with a fork while your eggs are becoming light and fluffy as well on this side. And you see there I use 1 cup of sugar, and this is my vanilla. If you haven't watched my vanilla video, please go check it out. I'll put that link in the description for the vanilla, then maybe you can also try it. It is so amazing, the aroma that comes from it when you open that bottle and you just give it a bit of a whiff. It is so good. So my other one is going to be 1 year old in, what is it, September? Yes, it's in September. It's going to be 1 year old. I can't wait to start using that as well. So here I was trying to be strategic with placing the flour. Oh yeah, I don't know what was going on. So I took a fork and yeah, it was just not working. But it finally worked and we got our cake together. So here you put some flour first and then you put your yogurt with the food coloring and then you put your flour last again. So flour, yogurt, flour. Start it like that and then just make sure that everything is combined from the bottom to the top. Look at that red, look at that color. So this is a gel food coloring. It's not that watery one. So it is quite concentrated, so you don't need to put too much because you don't want your cake to be bitter. So just put 1 tablespoon there. I didn't want to put all at the same time because I didn't know how much I was going to be needing. And there's our flour with the cocoa powder, our vinegar and the baking soda. I mix it together and pour it in. If you do not add the vinegar and the baking soda, it's going to be a rock. Your cake is gonna be a rock. I did that mistake once and the icing was amazing, but the cake was a rock, and I was like, what did I forget? What did I forget? Then I realized it was those two. Look at that gorgeous red color. Oh my goodness. It was so delicious. I must tell you, I cut, and then the next morning the next day, there was still a little bit left. So I cut for everybody again. So it's quite funny. And I also got my 4,000 wash hours. So I started screaming so loud. So my family, they were so supportive. They were like, oh, congratulations. And then they say, okay, now make us another cake like that one. Like, wow, you're supposed to be making me something. Anyway, so now I'm just buttering my pan and putting the baking paper. And I'm going to sprinkle a bit of the cocoa powder. This just helps your cake not to stick to the pan, because you don't want to start taking your cake after you've done so much work and then it just crumbles and becomes just a mess. So all these steps are very important for the cake. Just sprinkle a little bit, you don't need a lot. If it's like a white cake, vanilla cake or something like that, you can just use flour. You don't have to use cocoa powder. But when it's a chocolate cake or a red velvet cake, then you can sprinkle some cocoa powder, because we did put cocoa powder in there. And I was just using my measuring cup so that I get everything to be the same amount and the same level when I am busy assembling it. It's just nicer when all the cakes are exactly the same size. But you can also eyeball it. You can look at it and say, okay, that looks okay. But you know, it's nice if you can get it exactly the same size. So here it was 1.5 cup in each pan of the batter. Just mix everything and then just tap it a little bit on the counter for the air bubbles to remove them, because this is not a sourdough bread. And then we just put it and bake it for 25 minutes, and then you just stop and check. After the 25 minutes, don't keep opening your cakes, otherwise the middle is just going to sink. So after 25 minutes, then you check your cake. If it needs to go a bit more, you just add maybe 5 more minutes and then just switch on the bottom oven only. But this was ready in 25 minutes. All of them were perfect. Now just switch off our oven and take our cakes out and put it on a wire rack. They came out so well. You can also do this with 2 pans, and then you have thicker cakes. But I wanted the layers, you know, when you're cutting, the layers are so beautiful. When you've got more layers, that's what I was going for. It's just drama. You can see the sides of the pan that the cake already pulled away from the sides, which means it will be easier for them to come out. Look at that. Now we just leave them here to rest for 10 minutes while they're still in their pans. But don't leave them too long in their pans, otherwise they start sweating and it also becomes a bit of a mess. So after 10 minutes is plenty time. Now we take it. Can you see the cocoa powder at the bottom is still dark there? They didn't burn. Don't think they got burnt. It's the cocoa powder. It was so effortless to take them out. Just let them rest here until they are completely cool. This cake's gorgeous. They were so delicious. I promise you, I am definitely going to be making this very soon because it was a hit. So I got some cream cheese, some plain full-fed cream cheese, please. Plain cream cheese, no flavors. Thank you. It's not a salad, it's a dessert. So yeah. But you also must make sure that your cream cheese is very, very cold from the fridge. It mustn't be at room temperature. Your butter can be at room temperature, but your cream cheese needs to be very cold because it helps it to sit together and it doesn't like melt when you're piping. You'll see just now when I'm piping how easy it's gonna be. And the butter that I use there is salted butter because it just adds like beautiful flavor to the entire icing. Then I don't have to add salt on top of it because I'm using salted butter as well. It just cuts the sweetness as well quite a bit. Now we just keep stopping and scraping the whisk and the sides of the bowl, and then just keep going until the butter and the cream cheese are light and fluffy. Light and fluffy means that they're no longer just this yellow. It's almost it's like pale, if you get what I mean. That. Lovers of cakes, just keep going. You don't have to stand here watching it while it's doing this. You can just set your timer for like 5 minutes and go and come back and check on it. You can already see that it's starting to turn like a pale color. It's not that bright yellow that it was. Now we just add our icing sugar or our powdered sugar that's sifted. Please make sure that you sift your icing sugar. You don't want lumps in there when you're trying to now ice your cake. So you lower your speed and then just pour a little bit at a time. And once the icing sugar and the cream cheese and the butter are all mixed, you pour some more and then you pause, let it mix again, and then keep pouring until all the icing sugar is in. There's our lemon juice. I just squeezed the lemon and got 3 teaspoons of lemon juice. This is a must for this cream cheese because you do not want it to be like overly sweet, man. I don't know, maybe other people love overly sweet cakes, but for me, I want a cake that is delicious and I can finish a giant slice without having to say, oh, that was too sweet. I can't. I need some castor oil or something. And here's our vanilla extract again. Now this is a vanilla flavoring. I just love it because it brings that vanilla extract to life as well, because it's very, very concentrated itself. So that's why they only sell them in those small bottles, because you just need 10 drops in this whole batch and that's it. I love this. If you see my other cake video, I used this, the berry, the plum and strawberry jam. It was really, really delicious. So I decided to add it into my cream cheese, you know, just for that extra something, je ne sais quoi. And it was really, really good. I'm definitely going to apply this again in my other frosting because it's really good. Just keep whisking it. Don't do it too much also because you do not want it to become runny. So this is perfect. Can you see that it's just like sitting there? It's not falling or anything. That is perfect for piping. Now we just assemble our cake. I'm just gonna cut the first 2 on top just to like try and level them a little bit. They were not too humpy, but I just wanted them to be a bit flat. So I did that and I got my piping bag. I don't know, I wasn't showing it properly to the camera there, but I just used like a nice nozzle. You can just choose any nozzle that you want to use. You can just even use that round one in front. I don't know their numbers. And then you just pipe on the sides. Oh, it was so pretty to eat, but we loved it. So just put your frosting in the bag. It makes the whole process so easy. Then you just keep going with your little piping. Look how pretty that is already before we get anywhere. It's just wow. Just put in the middle a little bit. You don't want your cake also to be like, okay, the sides, yes, we've got icing, but then inside is nothing. because it was 3 layers, I also didn't want to put too much in the middle, because when you cut it, obviously it's gonna have frosting on top, frosting in the 2 layers, so you don't need to put overly much. But the salted butter and the lemon juice, they really cut down the sweetness quite a lot, so that is a must to have them in this cream cheese frosting. You will thank me later. Just leveling this one as well. I had people in the background asking for those that I was cutting off. Oh, it's quite something. So I've got my niece and nephew that came to visit, and my brother that came to visit from Germany as well, the chef. So I decided to spoil them with the cake. I don't know what was going on there when I lifted it. It started breaking on the side, but once you put the icing, nobody will ever know that there was a problem. That's the nice thing about being a baker. You can just disguise things and nobody will know that there was ever any problem. It's like a plastic surgeon for cakes. Just joking. Now we just keep going, and then we put the last layer. I didn't need to cut it because it was already flat. So the dark things on top there, that's the cocoa powder. As I mentioned, it is not burnt. It was absolutely fine. So you can also skip the cocoa powder if you want and just put flour. That's entirely up to you. Now we put our berries. You can put whatever berries that you like. My personal favorite is the strawberries and the raspberries. The raspberries, because they're a bit sour, they cut also the sweetness. So when you're eating your cake and you bite into a raspberry, it also helps the sweetness to be low. I know I sound like I don't like sweet things. I do love sweet things. That's why I try to find ways of eating them that will not make me feel bad for eating them. So that's why I try to cut down on the sweetness. And my husband was saying he never loved cakes, growing up, because they were always sweet. But because I make my cakes just so nice, not overly sweet, now you ask for the cake and you ask for another slice. And I was like, okay, that's good. That's good. Then you just put some raspberries on the top like that. You can also put berries in between the layers, but I didn't feel like doing that. I just wanted them to be on top because it's prettier. It's so pretty. Then just sprinkle some icing sugar on top. Look at that snow. How gorgeous is that? Enjoy. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share it. Now we're gonna cut some cake and let's see. Oh. Thank you, Papa. You like it? Let's put it here. See everybody?
I love it.
Thank you.
It's great. I love it. Ooh.
Delicious.
You love it, baby? We eat it like Tetris.
Yeah.
Make sure it's we're feasting.
Yeah.
I'm recording.
Okay.
As you can see, everybody enjoyed this cake. They absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for the support so far. You're gonna be getting adverts in my videos now. Please watch them, let them play or something. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.